This is Jordan Tower, JT News. What's up, everybody? This is the rise and fall of Death Row Records. We have MREC TV and we have Wendy Day. Make sure you subscribe to both of their channels. They both have great things on their channels. Today we're discussing the the rise and fall of Death Row Records. Now, this was headed up by Suge Knight, the bully, the boogeyman of hip-hop. He headed it all up. Dr. Dre was the first artist. Basically, he branded the whole label. You know, he was the foundation of that label.
He was the sound of the label.
Yeah, the whole reason we basically listened to Death Row was first because of Dr. Dre.
Yes,
Exactly.
sir.
You know, so what? Okay, so where did Death Row begin, as far as you know, Wendy?
I think it started with, and I'm going to take it way back.
Okay.
There was a producer from Above the Law called Cold 187. And I believe Cold 187 is the one who taught Dre how to produce. I think Dre started as a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't Suge his bodyguard at one point?
Yeah, during the NWA days, right, Rec?
That's what I thought, yeah. Because he was the one that got him away from Jerry Heller from NWA.
Yes.
I mean, we've all seen the movie. We don't have to beat the dead horse.
Yeah, we've seen the movie, you know, so at one point they had a problem with Jerry Heller paying everybody in NWA. Ice Cube was the first to leave, right? He was the first to leave.
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah, he was the first to leave, and then Dr. Dre left, okay? Now, I always wondered why Suge Knight, right, became the CEO. You know?
He depoted his way.
I think he had the money. I think he went to Harry O.
Okay.
And got him to invest in a label called Godfather Records. How deep do you want to go?
Yeah.
Let's go deep.
Okay.
It gets deep.
Okay.
It gets deep.
He got him
Who's
to
Harry O, first of all?
Say it again?
Who's Harry O, to all those that don't know?
Harry O is an incarcerated former drug dealer. He's a dope boy.
Okay.
Yeah. He was pretty big in LA. Like along the likes of a Freeway Ricky Ross, like that kind of level, like a kingpin. Yeah.
Okay.
He's still incarcerated, in fact.
Oh, man.
But he had invested in Godfather Records, and my understanding is that his lawyer then did a side deal with Suge and funneled that money not into Godfather Records, but into Death Row Records.
Oh.
And Harry O sued and won.
Oh.
It took years
From
and years.
jail.
From jail, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you got a few million out of that. How much do you think he invested?
Don't know.
Probably at least $1 million.
I would assume so, because it would take that to start a label.
Yeah,
But
go ahead.
let me know if I'm wrong, Wendy, but I do remember him and Suge, Harry O and Suge, didn't they become partners by default?
I don't remember why they became partners. I think Suge was looking for an investor, and Harry O had the money and chose to invest into starting a company with him. And then
because I remember a documentary or Suge or Harry O saying he used to call the studio.
Yes.
And the line was always open for him.
Yes.
Because he was calling from jail.
I do remember that. That was in some documentary.
He was calling from jail, and Suge had to take his phone calls.
Right.
To talk business, to discuss the books and what's going on with the talent and how everything was moving with the label.
Right. And then he found out that it wasn't Godfather Records, it was actually Death Row Records.
Oh.
Yeah, his wife, Harry O's wife, actually put that documentary together, and I wish I could remember the name.
Yeah. It was a good one, too.
It was good. Yeah.
That was good.
So basically he did a sneak move. He basically made it he made it Death Row Records, so the contract was invalid. But they fought it and won, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah. But it took him years and years and years and years to
it might have took him every bit of like 10 to 12 years or something.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that record.
I wonder
was
if he even got a payout. I wonder if he got a payout from it. Because, you know, you can win.
I believe that he did.
Now, that's another thing, though. That's another thing. I don't know if he got the money that he sued for.
That I don't know either.
Yeah, he won. He won it in court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get the money after that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So, okay, so we got Death Row Records. Is Dr. Dre an owner too?
I thought that he was, yes.
Yeah.
But apparently not, because he walked away with and took nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you got to really want to get away from someplace that you built to walk away like with the shirt on your back. You know what I mean?
It's like, yo,
for real.
I'm gone. Deuces.
It had to be really toxic over there.
Yeah, you can imagine.
Okay, so let's talk about the rise of Death Row. First, we had the Chronic album.
Didn't we have Murder Was the Case?
That was during. I think that was in between Snoop and the
Oh, it was. Okay,
Snoop,
I thought that was
Snoop Doggy Style.
It was right after the Chronic, right? This introduced Snoop, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not
I think it all happened. Huh?
I know the first song was Cold 187 on an Undercover Cop.
That was
the first single, wasn't it not?
Deep cover?
That wasn't
Was that deep cover?
Deep cover.
Maybe it was
soundtrack,
the deep cover soundtrack. I think I'm confusing Deep Cover and Murder Was the Case. I think the deep cover soundtrack is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Rex.
Deep cover.
Yeah. I think Deep Cover was the first, and then was the Chronic.
The Chronic, yep.
And then Doggy Style.
Yes,
Doggy Style came out. Then Pac came in after that, right?
No.
And Murder Was the Case.
You had the Dog Pound.
The Dog Pound came before Pac?
Yes,
Did
sir.
it? Okay.
It just seemed like I remember they shot so many music videos.
I'll just be going to Wikipedia.
I know. They shot so many. They shot so many music videos.
Deep cover. You had Doggy Style.
Mm-hmm.
You had Dog Food by the Dog Pound. And then Tupac started coming in like after those projects was released on Death Row. Tupac came in definitely after the Dog Pound.
No, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. Bad Boy Feud, MC.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the Chronic, then Doggy Style, then Dog Food, then All Eyes on Me, and then the Don Killuminati.
Yeah. But you know, the Deep Cover soundtrack, I don't think it was released by Death Row. I think
it must not have been because it's not listed here.
Yeah, what happened was Deep Cover was a single on the Deep Cover soundtrack because the movie was called.
Maybe it was Priority.
Priority, because Interscope had a distribution deal with Priority at the time.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
And that's how they introduced Snoop, you know, on a grand scale without, I guess, you know, being that they was using the soundtrack money and the soundtrack marketing money.
Yeah.
Right.
They was able to, you know, do a record with Dr. Dre featuring a newcomer named Snoop Dogg at the time.
You know why it was a blur? Because while the same time they would have like the Dog Pound out, they were already releasing videos for Tupac around that time. So it made it like a blur in your mind because so much was coming out of Death Row. They were already promoting the next record within the same project that was already out. So Death Row just like that was a Death Row takeover. The Bad Boy and Death Row were running everything.
Definitely.
So basically, they came out with the Chronic in 1992, Doggy Style in 93. Then they did 2 soundtracks back to back in 94. They did the Above the Rim soundtrack, and then the Murder Was the Case soundtrack. Then you get...
And that's when Snoop was on trial for murder.
Yep, right. Murder Was the Case.
I think that's what it was named after, right? Murder Was the Case.
Yeah, they named it after Snoop Dogg. Then we got introduced to Daz and Corrupt with the Dog Pound. Right. And they were killing it. That's when they had the beef with Prodigy and everybody with the New York, New York. And they had the beef was started with Biggie around that time too, right? Because Tupac was coming out.
Yes.
All Eyes on Me was the next album, 1996. Yes. Then,
also it wasn't just Prodigy; it was Capone and Noriega. That was Capone and Noriega song featuring Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
See, that's where a lot of people get it misconstrued. It wasn't a Mobb Deep song; it was featured on it.
Yeah.
And then Prodigy asked to be taken off the record too.
But he clarified that recently. He said, I didn't ask to be taken off. I just asked to change my verse. Because he had used the verse on somebody else's record.
Nobody said Prodigy wanted to be off the record completely or whatever.
That's probably how he interpreted it. Yeah. Who knows what really happened.
Yeah, exactly. You know, those Queens, two.
Yeah. Them Queens guys be spooky.
Queens something else. Spooky.
Well, now you've completely offended an entire borough.
Hey, shouts to everybody in Queens.
Every borough has their thing. Queens.
Yo, Queens know how they move. You know what I'm saying?
There's a reason it's called Shadyville for a reason. Okay? Shady out there in Queens. Brooklyn, grimy. Gangster.
Fact. Yeah.
Staten Island, ghost.
They get busy,
Spooky.
but they just.
But it's spooky out there. You get a long ride. Bronx, the birth of hip hop, still kind of gutter. Then you got Harlem, fly guys.
Flashy.
Cocky.
Yeah, it's not as flashy as it used to be because at one time you used to go to 125th Street and it was like a block party extravaganza. You know what I'm saying?
And very fashion oriented.
Yes.
So then we get the Tupac reign. 1996, the Tupac. Yo, Tupac, when he released his, I didn't realize he released his first album in 96. And then he died. Like, he did so much work on Death Row within 2 years. Or when did he die? 98? 97?
97.
Man.
September, I think it was September 13.
It was.
September 13, 1997.
He only released 2 albums.
Well, he had only been out a year.
All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli.
That's a crazy
But you gotta
impact.
understand, Tupac was on Interscope before. He was always on Interscope. They just did a joint venture with those 2 projects.
He released them both in the same within 2 months of each other.
But look, All Eyes on Me. Never forget that it was a double album.
I know.
You understand?
And it went diamond.
Double album. Yeah. And then Machiavelli, it was a short album. I think it was like.
It was 10 songs.
Between 10 songs or 12 songs.
And that went 4 times platinum. With that, and they released both in the same year. So DMX wasn't the first to do that. Tupac was.
No, but Machiavelli,
Same
might have came out. No, it came out during the time Tupac died, I want to believe.
November 5th, 1996, it came out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't alive when the album came out. That's why it was like...
No. He was alive. I remember he was alive.
Nah, it was very spooky why...
Because he was talking about his death in the beginning, remember?
Yeah, but he wasn't alive because he didn't promote it. Remember, he didn't shoot no videos off that.
Yes, he did. The Scarface. Wasn't that off that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Hail Mary.
But he wasn't in the video. Tupac was not in that video.
He wasn't in that fucking
video. That's what I'm saying. Tupac,
you're right.
He died before Machiavelli came out. Death Row released it during the time, I think maybe like a month after. Yeah, like maybe in October or something.
Oh, I remember that. He got killed in September, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, September 13th.
In 1996?
1997.
Oh, this album came out in 96.
You know?
This album came out in 96.
Nah, that's wrong. Whatever you.
That's wrong.
That's definitely wrong.
I want to prove you wrong.
Just stop doing that. That's when you go wrong.
No, I'm just going by Wikipedia. I'm just joking.
You can't see. Wikipedia is not always right too. People got to know that.
Yeah, because you can change somebody's Wikipedia, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going off history that I lived. Like I remember that.
Where was the fall of Death Row?
Dr. Dre leaving.
That's when it fell apart, right?
I think Dre leaving was the sound. The sound left.
Sound, the brainchild, everything was, was molded around Dre. Yeah. Death Row, sound, everything.
No, you're right. So, but wasn't Tupac having a problem with Dre before he left?
Yeah, Tupac problem was Dr. Dre don't work. That's what he said. Dr. Dre don't even do them beats that he get credited for. That's what Tupac said.
Oh, for real?
Yes, that is what he said. He was also upset because apparently Dre didn't go to the trial. He didn't show up in court when Snoop was on trial, and he felt that was a sign of disloyalty.
Oh, damn. Now, Machiavelli was released in... he was killed in 96, right? That's why he was killed the same year All Eyes on Me came out.
No, you're right. Pop was killed in 90. I'm thinking about Big.
So you're right. He did die. They did drop the album after he died, but it was in 96.
Okay.
Right.
Now it makes sense. We were
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. No, Pac. You know what it was? I'm thinking about Big, but
Yeah.
Pac.
That was a
Pac
confusing
died.
time because it was like a mind. I remember, we were kids, Rec, so like this happened, then you're in school and then, you hear about Biggie dying. It's like, what the hell's going on out here? These are your two
like
favorite
First it
artists.
was Big
Dead.
L. First it was Big L. Then it was Tupac, and then it was Biggie.
Yeah, and it's like we didn't have social media presence around that time. So it was like
Not
we
at
looked
all.
at these people just on TV and that was it. So it was like, it was weird. And
What
then
year
there was,
did Big L die?
I think it was.
I thought it was like 99 or 2000.
Oh,
I thought it was-
You're right. You're right. Nah, Big L died
I
later.
thought he died in 98. 99, you're right. February.
Right.
Yeah, because that's when that premiere track came out. Big L, rest
Man,
in
I'm
peace.
all off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm out the loop.
It's just hard to remember years. Like, I can remember the order of things, but I
Yeah.
can't remember what year it was.
Yeah, I'm off.
That time was moving so fast.
It
Yeah.
was. It was.
Yeah, Big L did die like 98.
99.
I only remember that because I did the Cash Money deal in 98, and Big L died after the Cash Money deal.
Yeah.
And I spent time with Pac
Mhm.
before the Cash Money deal.
Did you? What'd you guys do?
Yeah, I
Did you guys go out to eat?
No.
What'd you guys do?
But you would think, right?
No, I'm just saying.
I went to visit him in prison, actually.
For real?
Wow.
Yeah. He was
For
in
what?
Dannemora, which is like a 6 or 8 hour drive from the city.
No, I was thinking that you went out to eat because you like to have lunch.
I do.
meetings.
You're right. I usually, like, when I meet with people, I meet around a meal because, you
Yeah.
know, that's my life. Like, where I'm
That's
from.
me and Wendy used to have a meal every 2 months together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We always had lunch. That's how I meet with people.
I mean, why not?
break bread.
We're enjoying a good meal, having good conversation.
Exactly.
That's the
Everybody
best
likes
meetings. Those are the best meetings, right?
I love it.
Absolutely.
and you associate the meeting with the food too. You're like, yeah, that burger was
Exactly.
good, and that was a good ass meeting.
Exactly.
Facts. Wow, Wendy, that's big.
Damn. So what?
I drove all
Oh.
night. I left at night.
Mhm.
I left at like 10 o'clock at night, and I drove all night to get up to Dannemora because I wanted to be there by 8 a.m. Big Scoop was on the radio, and the reason I remember that is because he was on air, and I was having a conversation with him for most of the ride. Like, he kept me company by phone for like 3 hours. It was amazing.
Damn, you had a
Until-
cell phone back then?
Yeah.
Big joint?
No, flip phone.
Oh yeah, that's when them Sprint joints came out with and you had the
Exactly.
dual analog and digital.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you were like, hold on, Scoop, I gotta call you back because it's on digital right now. This is expensive.
And I was jumping towers, so we would lose the call, and then I'd have to call him back because the service was kind of jumping towers.
Do you remember cell phones were so expensive back then? How much was
Now,
that
I don't
bill?
think that was Sprint at the time. That was Motor on Roller. The flip phone.
No,
we
I
I
saw.
think
Sprint
the
had
phone
just
was
came out.
Motorola, but I think
Yeah,
the
you're probably
service.
right.
I think the service was Nextel.
Yeah, you're right. Nextel. That's what it was. Nextel was the first big one. Remember how big Nextel used to be?
Yeah. It was huge.
With the chirp.
And then like people would like chirp you, and like you're like in the middle of something, and like, yo, what's up with that bitch last night? It's like, "Doo-doo-doo." It's like, oh shit.
What?
I didn't turn my chirp. You're having a real serious meeting with someone who's like, yo, that bitch was crazy last night, man.
They were crazy phones. I was on the same system as Kadar Massenberg from Motown
Yeah.
and Clark
wow.
Kent. Like, everybody in the music industry was kind of on like one Nextel system. It was crazy.
Did you have a two-way?
I did.
Yeah.
I worked with Mona Scott for a while, and Mona Scott got me a two-way for
Oh, for
Motorola when they first
Did
came
you
out.
work for Mona Scott or with Mona Scott?
We
Yeah.
co-managed a group together called Parental Advisory.
Was this under Chris Lighty?
It was something separate that she was working on from Chris, I believe. I would have to ask her that. I don't really remember whether it was a Violator project or not, or whether it was.
If Mona Scott wanted you on Love and Hip Hop, would you join?
No,
I'm just joking.
Let's get back to the.
I'm not a fan of Love and Hip Hop. I don't. It's a little ratchet for me. I don't believe in. I don't like reality shows to begin with. I just don't believe in exposing
It's
the
exploitation.
ugly side of people
Yeah,
for ratings.
exploitation at its
I think it's
finest.
foul.
Okay, so you go meet Pac. What do you guys talk about?
Oh God, everything. At that point in time, I had sent him a lot of books, and he got caught smoking a joint, so they banned all of his package privileges, so he couldn't get my books anymore. But like when you hear him talk about Machiavelli and that stuff, like I had sent him that book to read.
Oh wow!
I sent him The Prince. I sent him my favorite book.
So basically, you gave Tupac a whole bunch of motivation, but
yes,
the Machiavelli motivation,
yes,
to inspire an album on Death Row Records.
Well, it inspired a mentality and a philosophy that transcended into his art.
The title of this video just changed. Just from you saying that, you know that, right?
You're gonna have to stop because now you letting the people know about the loop. Now you gotta stop it, edit that out.
The title of the video just changed now. Say, Wendy Day titles Tupac Machiavelli. Wendy's turning red over there. She's like, "What did I just say?"
Yeah, I know. She's like, "Yo, what's going on?" She's watching you self-destruct right now on camera. You know, but yeah, okay. Stop it, and because you're gonna give it away. Say, "Yo, this video gonna be titled."
What?
He don't get it, Wendy.
Oh no, okay. I think that's the joke of it. I think that's funny.
Shall we go back to Death Row?
Yeah.
We kind of got sidetracked.
I mean, but Tupac is Death Row.
And so what are we gonna stop it? Wait. Are you saying we should stop at this right now and then get into that?
No, stop, because you in the middle saying this.
He's saying to stop it and carve out the Tupac stuff and make it its own video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's what he's saying.
I mean, that's a lot of work.
He's got spooky today. Like, matter of fact, since yesterday, he's
out of work.
Spooky.
So back to Death Row. You know, I think Pac was when Dre left and Pac came. I think it kind of ended Death Row, and then the fact that they lost their biggest artist to a murder.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Fed stepped in and Suge ended up doing a stretch of time.
Yeah. It
was pretty much over then. He lost the lawsuit, so financially the label was decimated.
Yeah.
They bankrupted the label out, and you know, a bunch of yahoos purchased it. No disrespect to the yahoos that purchased it.
So
I think also what played a part in Death Row demise was Suge Knight. He wanted to get camera time, or he wanted to
but remember how he never did interviews in the very beginning?
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden the New York Times did a piece for the New York Magazine, you know, for the New York Times Magazine, where he was on the cover smoking a cigar in a red suit. He had just picked up Jodeci and Mary J. Blige. And from that point on, it was almost like he got addicted to the fame and the publicity.
Definitely. Now, you got to understand.
He couldn't stay out of it at that point. I forgot.
He was jealous of Puff doing it.
Yes.
Because he spoke about it at the Source Awards.
Do you think that maybe he spoke about Puff in such a rough manner because he was trying to sign Tupac and Tupac had beef with him? And do you think maybe if he went live and Pac was incarcerated at the time in Dannemora, Pac was watching the Source Awards, it was his way of sending a message to Pac like, dude, I can help you.
That's a good point.
That's the way I took it. I thought it was
brilliant. Yes.
That's a good point.
It was a brilliant chess move. By dissing Puffy publicly, he basically said to a man that he signed a month and a half or 2 months later, dude, your enemy is my enemy. That's basically what he was saying.
Yes, sir.
I think he's a very smart man, and I think it was a chess move.
Yeah. Great chess move.
You know, it's funny. It's like after all these people leave, you know, Snoop Dogg left, I think, around 99, right? He went over to, or even before then, actually, 97, he went over to Master P, right? He left. He took off. Things got spooky over there at Death Row around after Pac, right around when Pac died. Everybody was like, yo, it just shows you that it was toxic, you know. Dre was out. Then Snoop was like, yo, I'm out. Corrupt stayed down up until like, oh, wait.
Corrupt and Daz. Like, Daz played a major role in the whole Death Row sound too, because Daz was producing those records that Dr. Dre was taking credit for.
Yeah, we gotta give Daz.
Gotta salute Daz.
Yeah, salute to Daz. Even though he's dissed me before, it was just over weed. It's all good.
Yeah.
Over the smoke-a-thon. He said, "Fuck Jordan Towers." We pieced it out though. We got on the phone. And I was like, "Come on, man! It's just a smoke-a-thon. Like, we're gonna fight over weed." He was like, "Yeah."
Too funny.
And then after that, we got Tupac Greatest Hits. Then you get the Death Row. Then you get like, let's see, Snoop Dogg, Dead Man Walking. That was like a shot at Snoop Dogg because they had his music still, right? So they put that out while he was on Master P's label. That was spooky.
Dead Man Walking. Spooky.
That was a shot. He got away with a lot of stuff, man.
Do you remember all the bootlegs that came out after Tupac passed? Do you think Death Row put them out?
Yeah. Or Until the End of Time and Better Days? You talking those?
Nah, Z just talking about, it was a lot of street releases.
There were a lot of street CDs out. I had a case that had like 30 Tupac albums.
Yo.
Really?
This is what I'm saying. It was Machiavelli up until, I think it was Machiavelli Part 12 or something like that. I seen CDs.
Remember?
Yeah.
And they were coming from somewhere. Like somebody was leaking them, and it had to be somebody with some decent knowledge of who to distribute them through, because they were distributed. They weren't just passed. Like, it's not like Rec passed me one, and I,
So it was a way to dodge the estate, right?
It was like distributed.
Yeah.
A way to dodge the Tupac estate, right?
Right.
You're very smart.
And I know that Afeni blamed Suge. Suge blamed Afeni. It was like a whole lot of blame going around. Meanwhile, we all had like 30 Tupac albums that passed.
Yeah, he had so much music that came out.
I remember before he died, he told me that he was going to put out an album called One Nation. And it had both East Coast and West Coast on it. And while I never heard that album come out, like, I don't know what happened to that album. I know he was working on it. I know it was almost done. It never came out. But some of the songs appeared. Like, there was a song with Buckshot from Black Moon. Yeah, that had appeared on one of the bootlegs. So some of the songs came out, but that actual album as a whole never came out. So obviously whoever was bootlegging it wasn't bootlegging it with Pac's wishes in mind.
Yeah.
Because those of us close to Tupac knew that was coming. We knew that album was coming. So had it been the estate that was bootlegging, I think as a mother, she would have followed her son's wishes. I'm just speculating.
Got you. I mean, during that time when he was telling you about this album, Pac, to me, from what I got, he was very like he was a visionist. Like, he had everything mapped out.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Ahead of time.
Yes. I had a business plan that I put together for him for his company called Euthanasia. And it included music, film, and a chain of, I'm not using the right words, but a chain of daycare centers and community centers in the hoods around the country.
That's dope.
Yeah, he had some
So
really
he really cared
awesome
about the community.
ideas.
He really did care about the
community. Really cared. That was genuine.
I think that's what he would have transformed into eventually. He would have transformed into just focusing on the community.
I agree. I think he would have become a leader.
Yeah.
But Tupac was very intelligent because he knew how to play that thin line between, I guess, catering to the thugs as well as catering to the community.
Yeah.
Right.
That was, in need of help.
I do that too.
Yeah.
I do that too. I love thugs. I love gangsters. And I love the community.
Yes.
I think there's just a section of like my generation, and he was younger than me.
Yeah.
But there was a section of my generation that really respected that. And I think it's because we came out or grew up like during that whole crack era where it was very profitable to be a drug dealer. So a lot of the people that we knew in our community were dope boys. And prior to crack, it was heroin. heroin was, ravaging the streets like the way it is today.
Yeah.
And now it's codeine.
Which is heroin, yeah.
That's the new crack.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? These guys like show it off. Like that would be like it's almost like showing a crack. When I see these guys with codeine, it's like you're showing a crack pipe.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Right now.
We have a real problem in this country, and it's really getting worse. Like the rate of ODs is ridiculous.
Codeine is not cool.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I agree.
Now it does taste mean with a little Sprite, but geez, it's not. It's.
Who said that?
What?
That's what you said?
I mean, I've tasted it with Sprite before, codeine and Sprite. It's just cough syrup. I've tasted it. I haven't done Activist or anything crazy, But I took some cough medicine and mixed it with Sprite once to see what it tasted like. I was like, I can kind of see why they like it. It tastes delicious. I mean, it tastes like cotton candy. I never did it after that.
Did you drop a Jolly Rancher in it?
I tried that too. Remember around 2011 it was like popular?
He just said he tried it once. Uh-oh.
No, I didn't like it.
It was the same cup.
I've never been in I've never been into drugs like that, but I did try codeine and Sprite. I mean, Rec used to use, instead of using chocolate syrup on his ice cream, he used to pour codeine on it.
No, we're not doing that. I never used no drugs. I might have smoked some weed here and there, but far as...
Yeah, weed doesn't do anything for me, and the codeine thing, I only like the taste of it that one time, but then I read about it, and I realized that it's basically... I told my mom, I said, this tastes really good. She said, what the fuck are you talking about? That's like doing heroin. I said, but it's cough medicine. She's like, yeah, prescribed, you idiot. And I was like, oh, yeah. I stopped that. I was like, I didn't realize I didn't realize it was that bad like that. Honestly, I mean, yeah. It's like weed.
It's really bad for you.
Yeah. You got spooky.
I never tried like cocaine or anything, but I noticed a lot of people in the music industry, like engineers, do cocaine.
I think a lot of people in the music industry.
Like, you want some? And they have a plate of cocaine, and I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good.
There's just something about drugs in the music industry.
Like, it's someone you don't even expect. They get comfortable with you. You're in there mixing, and they're like, yeah. And they pull the plate, and then you're like, what the fuck just happened here? This guy just did a line of coke in front of me. You're getting too comfortable, bro.
Got spooky, huh?
Yeah. So, anyways, End of Death Row is basically when Snoop Dogg left. Let's just call it what it is. It was over.
No, when Dr. Dre left.
Yeah, after Snoop Dogg left, it was like a nail in the coffin. Yeah, finalized. That was it for me. I was done. There's nothing special over there anymore. I mean, you got Corrupt and Daz, but
Daz and Corrupt was over there holding it down, but it wasn't.
It just seemed weird. It's like when you break that bond, they were dog pound, and then the bond was broken. I was like, it's weird now,
Then Corrupt left. And then they was beefing. Daz and Corrupt was kind of like beefing when
That was recently. That was like 08.
Well, no, it wasn't recent. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no! Didn't Corrupt leave and then come back? He did.
I think that. He may have came back, but I know him.
No, he did come back because I remember being in studio with him and Cormega, and he had a death row chain. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the president now." Remember they made him president, and he came back.
Yeah.
It was just weird at that point. But we always looked at them as scary because it was like they hang people out of windows over there at death row.
There was a lot going on in hip hop that was, I wouldn't say scary. It was like the norm though. Like on the East Coast, you know what it was? What it was on the East Coast?
What?
East Coast just kept quiet. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that the West Coast wasn't the West Coast. That it was like you heard the stories from the West Coast. The East Coast, you only heard it if you was in the camps or you was part of the entourage. That's the only time you heard the stories. Or you was at the event when it happened.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I remember. It was so much going on. Like, it was a lot of beef. Beef was beef.
What's beef? Beef is when I see you.
Guaranteed to be in ICU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy line. Anyways, we probably got off topic. We probably did a lot of things, but I hope you enjoyed the banter.